Ani wena bojo nabe meskuma kwantish nakas makwandundam sangina dunji nun komande go gizish nishtana nimi odamino Madden Niishtana. Hello, greetings. My name is Looking Red Bear. My English name is Josh B. I'm from Bear Clan. I'm from Sagin First Nation in Manitoba, Canada. Today is March 20th, and I will play Madden 20. So today's video, it's gonna be a bit different than past videos. Um, Today it's not gonna be focused on so much a verb or an action, because the game of football numbers are um, used quite a bit, whether that's in the gap system for running backs for running plays, like the 2, 4, 6, 8 hole, you know, 1, 3, 5, 7, or you're counting how many the number of football players are on the field at any given time, or let's say you're on defense and you're trying to go between an odd and even front, between a 30, like 3 down linemen, 5 down linemen, or if you're going some sort of 2-4 or 4-3, 46, what have you, you're going to be, or the receivers, the route tree, 9 route. You're going to have to know, um, you're going to be knowing numbers anyways. So today's video, I wanted to show how numbers in Ojibwe, Anishinaabe, could be incorporated into the game of football. Um, just for the sake, you could really have as many numbers as you want in the 50s, 60s, depending on what type of playbook you have or you run at your program. Um, this is going to vary, but just for the sake of this video, I just included the numbers 1 to 24, because for one, I live in Canada and we play 12-man football up here, so that accounts for the 23 and the 24. In American football, you probably can go up to 22 because there's 11 guys on each side of the ball, offense and defense. There's 22 people on the field at any given time. Yeah, so this one's just gonna be a counting video, really, just going over how you can count up to 24 in Ojibwe, Anishinaabe, and how that could still relate to the game of football. So let's just run a random play. Play
Blue 30.
So if you're on offense and you want to make sure that there's enough people on the field to run a play, you can count how many people there are, or how many people on offense are on the field, just to make sure you have the right amount of people on offense. So to start off, we'll count to 1 to 11 just for the guys on offense. Beijig is 1, Nij is 2, Niswe is 3, Niwin is 4, Nanan is 5, Nagadwaswe is 6, Nijwaswe is 7, Nijwaswe, Nishwaswe is 8, Jangaswe is 9, Madaswe is 10, Madashi Beijig is 11. So that is typically how far you count on one side of the ball. So let's go over how you would count that. Beijig, typically in most offenses, if you're numbering your backs in the backfield, including the quarterback, typically in most playbooks, a lot of playbooks, what I've seen, the quarterback is usually number one. So Beijing would be quarterback number one. The running backs are usually lower numbers, twos, threes, whatever. So Niche and offensive line. You can go. There should be at least five numbers here for the offensive line for five people. So you could go Niswe, Ni, Niswe, Ni Win, Ni Win. The center would be Nanan. Nanan. Nagadwaswe. Nagadwaswe. 6. And then Nijwaswe. So what I'm already seeing right away is the game of football will allow counting to go up very high, up to about 100, just based on the fact of what I'm seeing on the jerseys. 71, 66, 53, 73, 38, 7. So the 7 would be Nijwaswe, 7. So if you didn't have a way to describe like your position groups, I'll get into position groups in a sec. Um, but let's just say if you had, I don't have the translations for 89, 18. I have 18. But like the really high numbers like 42, I see 90s, 53. Like they're, and even the yard lines, you'll be able to count quite a bit, up to almost at least 100. You could use, that'll take a while for me to put together if I wanted to put every word from 1 to 100 in Ojibwe. That would take some time, but in theory, yeah, you can, there's a need or there's a practical use for counting up to 100 in Ojibwe because, one, position groups, players, we need to know how many people are on the field at any given time just to make sure we're not short-handed or there's a chance of a penalty for having too many players. Let's get back to counting the receivers and then ended on 7, I believe. 7 or 8. Nishwaswi. Nishwaswi, 8. Shingaswe, 9. Madaswe. Madaswe is 10. And 11. Midashi Beijing. Midashi Beijing, 11. So that's just counting how many players there are on the football field. Now let's say someone on offense counted up to 11, and now they wanted to count the 11 defenders on defense. They can count them in whatever manner they want, but I'm just going to count literally, like, down the lines, starting from the left. So this corner would be number 12, Midashi Nij. Midashi Nij, 12. Midashi Niswe, 13. Midashi Niwin, 14. Midashi Nanan, 15. Madashi Nigawaswe, 16. Madashi Nijwaswe, 17. Madashi Nishwaswe, 17. Madashi Nishwaswe 18. Madashi Jangaswe 19. This, no, this would be Nagawaswe, Nijwaswe, Madashi Nishwaswe 19. Oh no, this is this one should be 22. Nishtana Ashi Nish 22. He should be 21. Nishtana Ashi Bejik. He should be Nishtana. And he should be Midashi Jangaswe 19. Yeah, that makes sense. So that was counting up to 22. And now you've accounted for all 22 players on the football field at any given time. That should be on the field at any given time before a play is run, without running a penalty. So it's important to know to be able to count in football, just so you don't run into penalties, you don't run into missed assignments or messed up assignments due to not having the correct amount of football players out on the field. In Canada, if you're playing Canadian football, I'll throw in 23 and 24. Nishtana Ashi Niswe 23. Nishtana Ashi Niwen 24. So that would be to account for the 12th offensive player and the 12th defensive player, but that's not on here in Madden. This is American football, so that's different. So yeah, but like I said too, even on the yard lines, if you wanted to count on the yard lines, Beijing, Ni Win. No, Beijing, Nij, Niswe, Ni Win. Beijing, Nij, Niswe, Ni Win. Nanan would be the 5-yard line, this line. Nanan. Nugudwaswe 6. Nijwaswe 7. Nishwaswe 8. Jangaswe 9. Madaswe 10. And yeah, we're at the 10-yard line. This is the 11-yard line. Madasi Beijing. Madashe Beijing 11. Madashi Nij 12. Madashi Niswe 13. Madashi Niwen 14. Madashi Nanan 15. Madashi Nagwaswe 16. Madashi Nijwaswe 17. Madashi Nishwaswe 18. Madashi Jangaswe 19. Nishtana 20. Nishtana Ashi Beijing 21. Nishtana Ashi Nish 22. Nishtana Ashi Niswe 23. Nishtana Ashi Niwin 24. And I think this would be, I don't have it written down, but just a guess, it's going to be Nishtana Ashi Nanen for 25. Let's see if I can go up to 30 without having written it down. Nishtana Ashi Nagaswe 26. Nishtana Ashi Nishwaswe 27. Madashi Ash Nish no, sorry, mistake. So this is gonna be 28. Nishtana Ashi Nishwaswe 28. This is gonna be 29. Nishtana Ashi Jangaswe 29. And to be perfectly honest, I don't know 30 yet. But that's just showing how when the football's placed at a certain yard line, 2nd and 10 at the 10, or 2nd and 5 at the 20, numbers are used quite a bit. So for yard lines, when they announce the yard line, you can kind of start counting, figure out which number that would be in Ojibwe. There's a 50-yard line, I know, and then it goes back down. We'll get an R 50-yard line and their 50-yard line, something like that. These videos progress, but for now, I can only count up to 29 because that's all I have written down. It takes a lot of work. So yeah, and I'll show you the numbering hole systems on offense anyways. So typically, when I played offensive line, everything to the left was an odd number in the gaps. So the gaps are the spaces in between the linemen, usually 2 feet apart. That's considered a gap, that little 2-foot radius or empty space in between both linemen, that's the gap. That's where you see this guy lined up in. He's lined up in the gap on defense, number 65. The gap is this space, and typically what I was coached is 0 is the center's bum, and then 2 was always, or no, sorry, 1 was always the first gap in between the guard and the center, left guard and the center, so that's Beijig. This could be 1. And then 3 was in between the guard and the tackle, so this would be Niswe. So Beijig, Niswe, and Nanen. This would be the 5 gap, and then if you had a tight end outside of the tackle, then that gap would be 7 Nishwaswe. So the first gap outside the tackle is Nanen. And then if there's someone beside him, like an H-back back here, or a tight end up on the line with him, then that gap outside of the tight end, the last gap, would be Nishwaswe, 7. And then for the right side of the offensive line, so it would be 0, the center's bum, and then Nij, 2, Niwin, 4, Nagwaswe is 6, and then if there's a tight end, yeah, because you went 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, and 6. So now if there's a tight end outside of the right tackle, that gap would be 8, and that would be Nishwaswe, 8. was just explaining kind of generally how you can incorporate some of the numbers on the offensive line, just introductory, like basic. You should probably know how the gaps work, and then how you can incorporate the numbers with the gaps. So like I said, 0, the center's bomb. Beijig is in between the left guard and the center. Niswe is between the guard and the tackle. Nanan is outside the tackle. And then Nijwaswe would be outside the tight end if there's a tight end. And then just a quick review on the right side. Nij is 2 in between the center and the right guard. Niwin would be 4, and that's in between the right guard and right tackle. And 6 would be outside the tackle. So that would be Ngudwaswe. And then outside the tight end, if there's a tight end on the right side, it would be 8. Nishwaswe. And that's 8. Or gap 8, I should say. And then I'll just incorporate into the passing game quickly, and that'll be all. So, this, honestly, the only route I know from the route tree is the 9 route, offhand, like just off heart, if I can, like a trivia, if you're asking me, name one route off the route tree, that would probably be the first route to come to mind. I don't know all the numbers for the route tree. I never played receiver. I was an offensive lineman. But that is the one route I know is just go deep, is the 9 route. So, and if, let's just say the quarterback wanted to audible that to any of the receivers, like they're now running just deep, and you wanted to say no Ojibwe, just to say 9, Jean Goswe, 9. And they just run deep. It's a go route. So once you have a better understanding of the route tree, you will be able to say the numbers, however many routes there are on the route tree, 1 to 11, 1 to 9, 1 to 13, however many routes there are on the route tree. You'll be able to use the numbering system in Anishinaabe to kind of assist you, and you'll be able to incorporate the language that way as well, through the route tree, the numbering system on the route tree. Because I really don't think it's going to be hard to define like go route, post route, drag route, and stuff like that. So if you want to, yeah, numbering, saying the numbers would be the quickest way to run a route and to say some of the language, in my opinion, I guess. But that's all I really have for now, for today. I wanted to do something different, just change it up a bit. A little bit slower pace, especially with everything going on. So yeah, that's kind of how you can kind of count and use numbers in Anishinaabe Mowin and incorporate them into the game of football. So keep an eye out for the next video coming out either tomorrow or the next day, whenever. Like, subscribe, share this video. I'd appreciate that. Gichi Miigwij, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.